If you have the Chase Sapphire Reserve, these are 17 of the biggest mistakes to watch out for. Whether you're new to the card or you've had it for a while, some of these might still surprise you. Big favor, give this a thumbs up to help with the algorithm. If you know someone that might benefit, then share this with them. Right off the bat, remember to activate credits. This isn't going to be for all of them, but more than you think. Log into your account, click on the card, and then click Redeem. From the top nav bar, click Manage Rewards, and then Card Benefits. From here, you can click through to make sure that everything's turned on. I have most of them activated other than the ones I don't see myself using. StubHub, Peloton, Dash Pass, Apple, and Priority Pass need to be activated. As of filming, these are one-time activations. This is different from some of their other cards that have credits that require yearly opt-ins. For example, rideshare with the United cards. Speaking of rideshare, be careful of Apple Pay. So Lyft has been a bit wonky with this. Even if you have the benefit activated, if you select Apple Pay, it won't trigger. Mandy dealt with this last month. It's still an issue as of 2 weeks ago. Hopefully they address it, but just a heads up. If you have a player too, make sure their credits are activated. For example, my StubHub is activated and used. We saw the Lakers when we were in LA and ended up doing some cheap seats, but still pretty good. Mandy was looking up events for a Knicks Vegas trip. I think we're debating Wizard of Oz at the Sphere. She was about to buy tickets, but her credit wasn't activated yet. So yeah, turn on Netflix or your favorite show and go down the list of credits. Number 4 is being aware of eligibility periods. Most credits operate off one of 5 cadences. That might be monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, annually based off calendar year, and card member year. December means that 4 of these 5 deadlines are happening. For Chase, the big ones to watch for include the dining credit, the edit for hotels and resorts, and also StubHub. For the other ones like DoorDash or let's say Lyft, if you don't already use it, probably not worth chasing. Reminder that for some of these, you can book for future uses. Dining, I don't think you can given the nature of it, but for the other ones, such as StubHub and hotels, you can book for something for next year. You pay now, which would trigger the credit. For example, I could buy tickets for the Warriors vs Lakers in April, 5 months from now. If you step back and think through it fully, StubHub is surprisingly easy. Next one is not to be last minute. This one's kind of a two-parter. So first off, note that merchant delays in processing and submissions can happen, and that can cause the purchase to be allocated to the next period. For a lot of these, book now to make sure that it's not an issue. The other consideration, especially for the dining credit, is that it is the holidays. So there's a lot of events and parties and people going out. Reservations towards the end of the month might be tough, so be careful. If you and player 2 both have a card, especially if you're going somewhere expensive, I'd bring both cards and split the bill, that way you can use both credits. Lots of good restaurant options and pretty well-established institutions. It does lean more premium, but not a bad end-of-year meal. Number 7 is a big one, and it's forcing the card. I think there are people that benefit from the card and use it naturally. For example, average income and spending numbers for cardholders is reasonably high. If you're the type to be one and done or you run a trifecta, you probably use the credits without thinking about it. Then there's a lot of us who might not be forcing things, but who also have a lot of cards. In this case, we need a reminder to keep track of things. There's also people that know that the card doesn't fit them, so they rightfully avoid it with number 3, which is very smart. The last group are people where the credit doesn't really fit, but they're trying to force it too. This is the group that needs to be careful. For example, even though I use rideshare a ton, I sometimes need a reminder to use Lyft instead of Uber. I value the credit and I don't feel like I'm forcing it. If you're looking for an excuse to take Lyft solely to use the credit though, then you probably shouldn't value the credit. We do have a calculator if you want to play around with these numbers for your own situation. It should pop up if you Google AskSebby Chase Sapphire Reserve. I'd recommend being honest with yourself and act accordingly. If you are looking to cancel or downgrade, there are some very key tactics that we'll cover towards the end of the video. Yeah, credit cards are tools, and you need to find the right ones for the job. On that note, if you want to learn about cards and you want to support the channel, we have links on the website, AskSebby.com, and also down below in the description box. Make sure the cards make sense, but otherwise, it's a huge way to support the channel, so thank you in advance. One to watch out for is the 2-night minimum with the edit hotels. This is the one that frustrates me the most. So a 250 credit for fancy hotels is fine, but I don't understand the 2-night stay requirement. Most of these hotels are going to run you at least $250 per night, so that means the stay credit only covers about half of the stay. Consider that a lot of people in the credit card world are juggling free night certificates, hotel points and transferable points, along with credits from cards. It just makes 2-night minimum more annoying. Consider that I have competing cards, and for their top-level hotel program, it's a 1-night minimum. This means I can be strategic and get value while minimizing my out-of-pocket for places like Vegas, especially given that some credits are per stay. To be fair though, I probably am an edge case. A big reason being that I am reviewing stuff for the SebbyFunk travel channel. so I probably have more one-night stays compared to normal people. One that we kind of covered but worth mentioning again is activating Priority Pass. This is under the Travel tab, scroll down to Membership Perks, and it's under the Chase Sapphire Reserve Lounge Network option. In my case, it's activated, but you generally need to press it to get your Priority Pass card. We are heading into travel season, and I've seen way too many angry cardholders just yell at front desk people. Not just be grumpy about it, but full on yell. Activate the perk, add the card to your phone and their app, and probably toss the card into your travel bag as a backup. Depending on how far you are, it might be a mistake to allocate spend to other cards. So in my case, not really relevant. I'm still $45,000 away on this card, so not worth the squeeze, but if you're at $70K already, then it's worth considering. The perks aren't bad at all and just a function of whether you want to allocate in that way. Reminder that Q4 estimated taxes are due January 15th. It depends on the math obviously, but it might make sense. For example, if you have investment income or you run a small business, whether that's creating content, driving for rideshare, or consulting. Heading into travel, a bit of a controversial one is not using Points Boost. So here you get up to 2 cents per point on select travel through Chase Travel, and it's select flights and hotels. Generally premium and luxury travel. If you're paying out of pocket and you do this type of travel anyways, it lets you lock in 2 cents per point without additional legwork. If you are willing to do homework though, then transferring points might be better. You're likely using less points, but you need a lot more flexibility. Or be comfortable with last minute. So let's say you want to fly to Asia for Christmas. Seattle to Haneda Tokyo is 110K United and about €5 in fees. Times that by 2 for a round trip. You can transfer Chase points to United at a 1-to-1 rate, so this would effectively cost you 220,000 Chase points. Booking it directly, you're looking at closer to 7,000, so using points even at 2 cents per point, that'd be about 350K. So here you're spending more points for simplicity and greater flexibility, and it just depends on you there. For flights, most of the time, transferring out makes more sense. On kind of a similar note, a big mistake people make is not checking other reward charts. This is surprisingly common out of SFO, probably because we are United Hub. People here are comfortable with the United program, they like Chase since it transfers to United, and they might not know that there are better transfers for the same trip. For the ANA trip we were looking at, transferring to Virgin Atlantic to book ANA would be cheaper, only 52.5K from Western US. Here you're looking at less than half the points as with United, so 105K compared to 220K, which makes more sense to me. Virgin and United oftentimes share the same award space for ANA, so the process is about the same. Number 14 is not running the numbers. So not comparing these options, direct, through a portal, and transferring to partners. Again, for flights, transfers usually make sense. Hotels are a different story though, especially IHG and Marriott's. For example, let's say you want to go to the Ritz-Carlton in San Francisco. You're looking at $370 as a base cost. With taxes and fees, you're looking at $435 all in. With points, the same room on the same date is 79,000 Bonvoy. 435 divided by 79K is 0.55 cents per point. You would not want to transfer Chase points here. Crazy enough, even if you used your points as a statement credit, 79K would be 790, which would get you almost 2 nights here. Let's switch to the St. Regis San Francisco. Here it's 508 all in with taxes and fees. Using points, it's 88K, which doesn't make sense to transfer. What does make sense though is booking through Chase Travel, since it's one of the edit hotels with Points Boost. Here it's 554 all in for the same date, so a bit more than direct. But you can use almost 28,000 points to cover it. 554 divided by 27695 is 2 cents per point, and if you do it relative to direct, it's 1.83 cents per point, which is still pretty good. If you wanted to stay here, Chase Travel, even if it is a bit inflated, means you get more value than transferring to partners or redeeming as a statement credit. As someone that normally transfers to partners, I'm actually a big fan of Points Boost. The main reason being that it opens up the door to IHG and Marriott hotels as viable redemptions, along with boutique ones that might not be part of any programs. Probably controversial, but feels more useful than before. For people that don't like the card and they're looking to get rid of it, a big mistake is canceling rather than downgrading. So you can downgrade to the Chase Freedom Flex or Chase Freedom Unlimited, both of which are no annual fee and it protects your credit history. Especially if you've had the card for a while, you might as well keep that history. The other reason is financial and it depends on your timing. If you cancel a card within 30 days of the annual fee posting, they'll usually refund the annual fee. After this period, you don't get a refund. If instead you downgrade the card, you get a prorated refund. Let's say the annual fee was 90 days ago, 90 divided by 365 is 25%. If you downgrade, you're getting a prorated refund, 75% times the annual fee. Even if your goal is to cancel, downgrade first, get that prorated refund, and then make that secondary decision. Number 16 is downgrade timing. Let's say you're set to do it, cool, that's fun. You might still want to wait until January. The idea being that a lot of credits were set then, so you might be leaving a lot of money on the table if you downgrade now. It depends on the math, but for a lot of people, it makes sense to wait. The last one is not considering other issuers. Again, it might be a United Hub thing, so kind of curious if people in Chicago and Houston are the same, but a lot of people I know are very hesitant to change cards, even if it might make sense for them. Maybe it's about having to learn another point system, or not having United as a transfer partner, but there's a lot of hesitancy. For context, I like Chase, I have a lot of their cards, but I also have competing cards. Even if you love ice cream, you don't know if you like sorbet until you try it. If you do want to test the waters, play with the relevant calculators. Make sure the maths and that the perks and benefits actually work for you. Again, if you want to learn about cards, we have links on the website, AskSebby.com, and also down below in the description box. And if you're curious, all legal affiliate disclosures can also be found below in the description box. I bought a Ninja Creamy, and I've been making a lot of sorbet and ice cream. This is a mango one, and Fairlife also works pretty well. Given all of that, if you made it to this point, leave a shaved ice emoji in the comments down below, and I'll try to heart it and also respond. 3 questions: how are you using the big 3 credits? So dining, the edit, and StubHub. Number 2, what's your use case for points? Number 3, any other mistakes to watch for the card? Let me know and everyone else know in the comments down below. Big favorite, thumbs up, share this, but otherwise hope you liked it. See you next time. I'm not sure how this banana one's gonna turn out, but I'm pretty curious.